Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates on Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. Chelsea's kidnapping is making the Dupree family pull out all the stops to find her. There is nothing they won't do, and no effort is too much. Anita and Vernon are meeting with an FBI director who happens to be a friend of Theodore's. Jacob is working with forensics, and Kat is busily tracking social media leads, leaving Martin to step up as well. In Wednesday's episode, Martin makes a deal with the devil. The newly minted rich person Leslie Thomas does what she does best. In Wednesday episode, Leslie ruffles some feathers, and she just doesn't care who she impacts. Leslie, already having bones with the whole Dupree family, now has extra reasons to take action against them. Leslie, giving a masterclass in professionally petty, has bought the house right across the street from Anita and Vernon. Naomi is really scared about her missing sister Chelsea, and in times of need, you draw strength from those close to you. In Wednesday's episode, Naomi leans on her husband. Jacob is a bright and resourceful detective, and with the whole department behind him and all of Vernon's contacts, it won't be long before they have a solid lead to pursue. When they do, Allison had better look out, and she should hope that it's Jacob who finds her, and not Bill Hamilton. Madison was the first to say it, and firmly believes that it is Chelsea's ex-girlfriend Allison that is behind the kidnapping. We at home know she's right, but we have to watch this play out nonetheless. Allison tried to warn Madison about Chelsea being selfish, and will leave her without hesitation if it serves her best interest to, purely as a way of trying to get rid of Madison from Chelsea's life. It didn't work, and here we are. Does Allison still blame Madison for not having Chelsea in her life? In the Wednesday episode, Madison issues an apology. "Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama." On Beyond the Gates, Dani called Bill and told him to do whatever it takes to bring their daughter home. "Scorch the entire earth if you have to," she said. Will this crisis bring them closer? With the kidnapping of Chelsea, the Duprees have decided that there is no option that is off the table in ensuring the safe return of Bill and Dani's daughter. Bill has a well-earned reputation as being the fixer, and once again, his skills are needed, not to cleanse a situation at the Duprees' request, but to save his youngest daughter. Bill arrived at the Duprees' mansion, and for the first time in a long time, his entrance wasn't met with snark or unhidden disgust. Bill Hamilton has the means and the contacts to turn the DMV upside down in the search. The question we are all asking is, will this bring him and Dani closer? Can this be the thing that heals old wounds and erases time and water under the bridge? Andre is going to arrive at the Dupree mansion to assist with the press conference. He's going to see Dani and Bill leaning on each other and comforting each other as parents do. It's just not what he wants to see after experiencing a raft of rejection in 1 week. But even Andre can't stand in the way of their connection. Bill and Dani have a long and complicated history. Infidelities, and Bill left Dani for his office assistant. But in Dani's favor, she did not fake a pregnancy and download an ultrasound off the internet like his wife Haley. Patching things up might be easier than we think, given the nature of the crisis at hand, and how they obviously still care about each other deeply. It wasn't that long ago that Dani, in a candid conversation with her bestie Pamela, confessed that she still loved Bill. In fact, it wasn't that long ago either that the two of them were sitting on Dani's couch, reminiscing over a photo album, and they began kissing. Could Dani and Bill repair what they had and start again? Haley has lost a lot of her shine since the faked pregnancy. And also, what's the connection to the mysterious Sammy? The man we all know as Randy Parker? Where do you sit? Do you want to see Dani and Bill rebuild together? Leave a thought or comment below. Here's what went down Monday, August 25th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates. When Samantha had her eye on a boy, antagonists worked together, and Chelsea was a vision in a non-physical way. On Beyond the Gates, Madison left a message on Chelsea's voicemail, letting her know that she and her family were beginning to get worried. Hanging up, the neurologist told the Duprees that her nervous but excited girlfriend would not be so late for her own launch. Kat couldn't reach Chelsea either. Vernon concluded that Chelsea was either on a call or had gotten a flat. Anita found a fresh social media post from Chelsea, but it had been scheduled, not live. Various family members began putting out feelers as to Chelsea's whereabouts. Naomi called Jacob, who arrived at the Dupree mansion, and announced that he had filed a missing persons report in Maryland and other states, as there was no waiting period to do so. Dani informed Jacob that she had arranged for George, head of Fairmont Crest Security, to pull the gate's surveillance tapes for him. While Dani cheerfully encouraged Madison to relax, she worriedly told Vernon that Chelsea had never been late for a call when she was a model. Dani received a text from Bill, who himself was concerned that Chelsea hadn't arrived for her big night. Kat and Jacob separately descended on the guest house. Chelsea was nowhere in sight, and Kat noted that Chelsea's car was still parked outside. Jacob found Chelsea's phone, which Kat exclaimed Chelsea would never leave behind, because her cousin and the device had a long-term, committed, codependent relationship. As Jacob summoned a forensics expert, Kat called the family with the new information. Jacob added that the FBI and a KT-9 unit were being brought in as well. Madison wondered if Kat could get into Chelsea's phone. She could. Dani took her call from Bill and notified her confused ex that Chelsea was gone. "Our baby's gone," Dani repeated, beginning to cry. Anita realized that, because of Chelsea's social media presence, there had to have been someone who could help them find her. Dani took the opposite view and posited that there were 2 million suspects. Madison cut in and declared that she was sure Allison had kidnapped Chelsea. Dani remembered Allison as being the woman Chelsea had credited with helping her to realize she wanted a real relationship and couldn't make sense of Allison kidnapping Chelsea when Allison had ended things. Madison felt Allison wasn't the same person whom Chelsea had been involved with. Madison explained how Allison had begun tailing Chelsea and then played on her sympathies by claiming she fell, only to pivot and say her husband beat her. According to Madison, Allison had been playing games and had gotten hostile when Chelsea wouldn't play along. Madison didn't put Allison getting physical past her. Nicole had to admit that from Madison's descriptions, Allison seemed the type. Bill entered and Dani fell into his arms as Naomi watched. "I want you to do what you do," Dani instructed Bill, who was willing as long as he could work with no handcuffs. The ex-Mrs. Hamilton assented and implored Mr. Hamilton to bring their girl home. Jacob got permission from his department to tap into Chelsea's phone. Kat gave him the password. The detective found nothing unusual in the device or any signs of struggle in the guest house. He was ready to send Kat away so that he and the other professionals could proceed in their investigation. But Kat begged to stay so she could help find her beloved cousin. Jacob agreed since Kat also lived there and could sense anything out of place. Kat found Chelsea's hairbrush where it didn't belong, and Jacob soon discovered subtle traces that indicated someone had been dragged out the door. Kat surmised that a smaller person must have taken Chelsea, since a bigger one would have carried Chelsea instead of dragging her. Jacob and Kat disagreed about turning Chelsea's phone over to the FBI, but Kat realized that everything about the launch was synced to her own tablet. Kat shared Chelsea's social media passwords with the Duprees and Madison, who all began scouring Chelsea's followers and reporting suspicious ones to the police. Madison, in particular, searched for anyone who sounded like they could be Allison using a different name. At the country club, Martin was proud of Samantha, who was doing her first turn as brand ambassador at the Chelsea Cat launch. Samantha was jazzed that half of her class, and many in the fashion world, had come to the event. "Model mode has been activated," the teen said confidently. When Martin wondered why Kat and Chelsea weren't in attendance yet, Samantha opined that former supermodel Chelsea was likely still getting her lashes done to look flawless. Samantha was bummed her whole family couldn't be at the country club with her, but she was glad to get some alone time with Martin, and glad he had moved back into the condo. Martin reminded her that his cohabitation didn't mean there had been a reconciliation with Smitty, though he remained hopeful. "You're seriously testing my mascara," Samantha smiled when Martin said that she, Biddy, and Tyrell were his life. Martin casually noted a young man who had been shadowing Samantha. She became quiet. The congressman pointed out that she had finally been allowed to date as long as she was transparent. Samantha said the boy's name was Nathan, but he hadn't asked her out, yet. Then Martin got a text from Nicole that Chelsea was officially a missing person. He sidestepped Samantha's concern and told his perplexed daughter that she was vulnerable now that she was out in the real world. "There are dangers everywhere," he cautioned, after Samantha insisted that he couldn't keep her from growing up. Nicole called Martin, who passed along Kat's idea for Martin to get up in front of those assembled and call off the launch, telling them the truth about Chelsea's disappearance and requesting that they all use their own social media accounts to put out the word. Vernon and Bill worked together to arrange a press conference where Bill and Dani would announce a reward to anyone who could aid in locating their daughter. Dani planned to recruit Andre to live stream the presser and told Nicole that Anita had reached out to Sharon and Tracy to put all Articulettes fans on alert. Jacob apprised everyone that the address Allison had given to the hospital was bogus. Madison wailed that they had to find Allison because that would lead them to Chelsea. Suddenly, Kat's tablet pinged, and she saw a DM meant for Chelsea from an Edie, a #1 fan, who was coming for her. Madison and Jacob were in agreement that the message could have been from a disguised Allison. The timing was too coincidental. Naomi found it suspect that Edie would leave a trail for the police, and Kat saw that Edie's account was relatively new. Kat reasoned that Chelsea's most dedicated fans would have been following her for years. Madison continued to be adamant that Chelsea would be with Allison. Jacob began searching for a real address, while Vernon prepared to go to someone he knew at the FBI. Chelsea woke up to find herself shackled to a bed. She called out for help and reached for a phone resting on a dresser, but the tether wasn't long enough for her to get to it. The designer began panicking, then had a vision of arriving at the club with the awareness that she'd been kidnapped. Dani assured her that the family was looking for her. Dani advised Chelsea to use her modeling skills to gain her freedom, be who her abductor wanted, and tap into their fantasy to find a loophole. Chelsea flailed that she didn't even know who had taken her. "Don't you?" asked Dani. "Work your angles," her mother's illusion added. While searching the room as far as she could reach for anything that could help her, Chelsea heard movement from the other room and called out for Allison, who appeared, very happy that Chelsea had known she was there. It signified they were meant to be together. Allison ducked out, after which Chelsea went back into her vision and saw herself chained to a table in the country club banquet room. Kat sauntered in and snarked that Chelsea should know how to pick a lock, since she was into handcuffs. Kat softened and told Chelsea that she had more power than she thought, as captors usually underestimated their victims. What does she know that you need to know? The fantasy Kat exhorted Chelsea to explore. Back in reality, Allison returned and remarked that most people didn't know how smart Chelsea was. Chelsea took exception to her captivity and to being forced to miss her launch. Allison had no intention of hurting Chelsea, but observed that Van Gogh sold more paintings dead than alive. Allison promised she wasn't going to unalive Chelsea and wondered where her carefree spirit had gone. The kidnapper recalled how Chelsea had admitted that Allison had made her feel again. Chelsea retorted that they hadn't been some great love story. They had taken part in a three-way hookup, and Allison had rejected Chelsea's further intentions to stay with her husband. "Stop saying mean things!" Allison yelled when Chelsea spat that it wasn't her fault Craig had turned into an abusive prick. Remembering the advice from her visions, Chelsea apologized to Allison and confessed that she had felt something for her, but what they'd had ended up not being something real. Allison felt otherwise and had no doubt that Chelsea would forget about Madison when she was apart from her long enough. "It's gonna be really fun making you love me again," Allison beamed as Chelsea sat stoically. Chelsea was positive her family would find her. Allison begged to differ. Not only were there millions of suspects in the form of Chelsea's followers, but Allison had invented a fake fan, Edie, who had become obsessed. Chelsea insisted that phones could be traced. Allison vowed that, by the time anybody found their current location, they would be long gone, and in a place only Allison knew. Allison ordered Chelsea to get some rest, something she would need for what was coming. Chelsea returned to her vision and saw Bill, running to him and telling her about her involvement with Madison. Bill didn't react at first, but eventually said that she didn't need to hide herself, except from the woman who had captured her. He needed Chelsea to buy him some time by playing nice with Allison and getting into her head. Chelsea realized she needed to pile on the Bill Hamilton charm and let Bill guide her through a series of boxing moves, which in real life would be a series of acts meant to keep Allison off-center. Allison had gotten all of Chelsea's favorite dishes from Uptown and prided herself on knowing everything about her. It dawned on Chelsea, from Allison divulging that she had been following Chelsea online, that their first meeting hadn't been random. "I'm your biggest fan," Allison boasted. As Allison went over Chelsea's likes and dislikes, Chelsea retreated into her vision and found Anita, who reminded Chelsea that her abduction wasn't because of her fame, it was because Allison was broken. Anita exhorted Chelsea to listen to everything Allison had to say because there might be clues within her words. "No one takes a Dupree," the fantasy matriarch proclaimed, as she upheld that the dynasty would be using every resource to find Chelsea. Coming back, Chelsea objected to Allison's flex that she knew her better than anyone, and averred that there were things about their time together that she hadn't posted about. When Allison countered that she had paid attention to everything, Chelsea blurted out, "It doesn't even seem like you like me. Love doesn't chain you to a bed." Allison demanded that Chelsea stop talking, because the scenario wasn't playing out the way it had in her head. After Allison left the room, Chelsea went back into her mind and found Madison, who ran the highly agitated Chelsea through mindfulness exercises. Madison urged Chelsea to calm herself and focus on finding her way back to her. Returning to real life, Chelsea saw that Allison had prepared a dinner table for them. Allison tried to kiss Chelsea as she took her seat, then raised her wine glass in a toast, wanting to drink to their new beginning now that all this Meredith stuff was behind them. Chelsea cheered Allison, whom she deemed unequivocally insane. The abductee warned Allison that her family was coming to rescue her, then threw her wine in Allison's face. Allison tried to move on, as if nothing had happened, but Chelsea followed by throwing the table over. "Stop being an ungrateful bitch," Allison demanded, shrieking that Chelsea was ruining everything. "I am the one who decides when this is over." Chelsea scowled in response. Next on BTG, the hostage situation continues. Anita, Vernon, and Kat team up. Andre witnesses Dani and Bill getting cozy. The Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Tuesday, August 26, 2025, tease more of Chelsea's hostage situation, which will unfold this week. Vernon, Kat, and Anita will work together to get her home. Meanwhile, Andre witnesses an intimate moment between Dani and Bill. Emotions are on high alert in Fairmont Crest, so everyone's going to act a little differently and get along. Dani is going to enlist Bill's help in finding their daughter. This horrifying moment could bring them closer together. The BTG weekly video preview teases that Dani will rely on her ex for comfort. Andre could witness the two exes getting cozy with one another. He might see this intimate moment unfold. What will Andre do about it? Will he understand that they're overcome with emotions, or will he pursue Dani out of jealousy? Chelsea has been kidnapped by a gloved person. The Duprees found out that their worst nightmare had come true. On Tuesday, the hostage situation will intensify. Will Chelsea be able to get herself out of this situation? Will we find out who kidnapped her and why? Anita, Vernon, Vern, and Kat will take matters into their own hands. This family will do whatever it takes to find Chelsea and get her back home. We're looking forward to seeing these three team up and take the kidnapper down. What do they have planned? And will it work? Apparently, they're not the only ones who are teaming up. Kat will once again collaborate with Jacob. We already know these two work well together and have strong detective skills. Hopefully, this sleuthing duo will bring some peace of mind to this already intense and scary situation. Next on BTG, Leslie ruffles someone's feathers. Martin makes a deal with the devil. Naomi leans on her husband. Madison apologizes. The Beyond the Gates spoilers for Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, tease drama and tense situations. Leslie will ruffle someone's feathers. Martin makes a deal with the devil, and Naomi leans on her husband. Meanwhile, Madison apologizes. It's not a day that ends with why if Leslie isn't stepping on someone's toes. Once again, she will ruffle some feathers, and no one's surprised. We're still thinking about her showdown with Anita, which ended in a slap heard around Fairmont Crest. Whose feathers is she ruffling this time around, and will it backfire? Meanwhile, Martin makes a deal with the devil. Who is he making a deal with? Will this choice come back to haunt him? Martin has already been desperate to escape his past, which has come back to bite him. It seems like this isn't leaving him behind anytime soon. Martin's desperations grow as he tries to bury the past. On Wednesday's episode, Naomi is dealing with a crisis. Jacob's presence will give her strength and reassurance. She'll be grateful to have a man like Jacob in her life. Somehow, this situation will bring the couple closer together. Madison will have to issue an apology. What will make her apologize? The BTG spoilers suggest that she will apologize to someone for the way she treated them. She's in her feelings, especially amid Chelsea's disappearance. Leslie's inheritance could cause issues between her and Eva. Eva has a complicated relationship with her mother Leslie on Beyond the Gates, but the two have grown closer now that Leslie's come into money. However, Leslie's windfall could shatter her and Eva's relationship for good. Leslie was shocked when she learned that former Articulates member Barbara is her mother. She was in for another surprise upon discovering that as Barbara's heir, she's entitled to her inheritance. Leslie's new wealth has her and Eva celebrating. However, it's not a happy occasion for the Duprees. When Anita set up a trust for Barbara's family, she didn't expect Leslie to be her daughter. Leslie and Eva have caused issues for the Duprees and now score another win in their feud. Or have they? A fan theory on Reddit suggests that Leslie and Eva's relationship will be tested by the inheritance. Since the trust was set up for Barbara's descendants, Eva might be entitled to half since she's Barbara's granddaughter. Eva will be tempted to stake her claim. However, Leslie will be unhappy about sharing her newfound wealth. Fans then suggested that the fight over Barbara's money could lead to the revelation that Eva isn't Leslie's daughter. There's been much speculation that Leslie stole Eva, and the young woman is Ted and Nicole's daughter. The inheritance storyline could finally shed some clues about Eva's real parentage. Eva has always forgiven her mama for her wrongdoings. But learning that Leslie kidnapped her and lied to her might have Eva reach her breaking point. Leslie's new fortune might bring her a luxurious lifestyle, but it will be her downfall when and if her crimes are exposed. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of August 25th to 29 suggest some major moments in Fairmont Crest. Chelsea Hamilton is locked in a scary hostage situation, while Martin Richardson makes a sketchy deal. Plus, two unlikely characters say, "I do." Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of August 25th to 29 imply that Chelsea will be in a bona fide hostage situation. Fans saw her get chloroformed and dragged away during the Friday, August 22nd episode, so during the Monday, August 25th show, the Dupree family will finally discover that one of their own has gone missing. Viewers also saw Chelsea chained to a bed, and as the days go by, the situation will intensify. In fact, as the weekend hits, the kidnapper will have an insane demand for the Dupree family. With that said, Martin is slated to make a deal with the devil. What will he agree to, and does this have to do with his cousin's kidnapping? Lastly, Jacob Hawthorne and Catherine "Cat" Richardson will team up and start investigating. Can they rescue Chelsea in time? In an interesting twist, two unlikely characters will get married next week. Could Leslie Thomas and Ted Richardson head to the altar? Leslie will certainly ruffle some feathers during the week of August 25th to 29, so only time will tell. Across town, Derek Baldwin will open up to Ashley Morgan. Derek had a horrible accident that left him no feeling in his legs, thus having to leave his firefighter career behind. So if he admits that he still dreams of marrying her, Ashley's guilt may have her agreeing to saying, "I do." In other interesting news, Andre Richardson will see a close moment between Dani Dupree and Bill Hamilton. The parents will be reeling over their missing daughter, so BTG fans should expect these two to bond a little over the traumatic experience. Lastly, Vanessa McBride will share news with the Dupree family. Is this about Chelsea's kidnapping? Or Leslie's new mansion? In addition, Tomas Navarro will help Eva Thomas with something. Looks like he's growing closer to Eva and further away from Kat. Will Kat cut him loose at some point? Are you looking forward to the week of August 25th to 299? Comment below. Watch your favorite CBS soap daily and check out CTS often for the best Beyond the Gates spoilers, news, and updates. Same energy as Uncle Phil continually gave Jazzy Jeff the boot on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This week on Beyond the Gates, Leslie attempts to plant herself firmly beyond the gates. Too bad that Bill won't let her overstay her welcome at the Dupree mansion. In other news, Chelsea's kidnapped, and as a result, exes Dani and Bill bond over their shared fear for their daughter. Unsurprisingly, Leslie is already making herself comfortable at the Fairmont Crest Country Club. "I need to stake my claim on Fairmont Crest ASAP," she states, as she looks over to Ted. What plan is Leslie cooking up now? She will also visit the Dupree mansion again this week. Maybe Leslie wants to announce that she's moving across the street. Or maybe she wants to antagonize Anita once more. Needless to say, the Duprees aren't happy to see her, and Bill decides to take his fixer role seriously. "May I?" he asks Vernon. "Be our guest," Vernon responds. Suddenly, Bill picks Leslie up and starts to throw her out the door. "Unhand me, demon!" Leslie exclaims. The video preview also includes Vanessa and Joey having an intense meeting. "You've seen things, Vanessa, and I'm not in the habit of leaving loose ends." Vanessa entertains Joey too much for him to remove her from his life forcefully and/or violently. "Are you threatening me?" she asks the casino owner. Could Vanessa and Joey be the unlikely couple who exchange wedding vows, as the teasers suggest? Of course, Vanessa would have to divorce Doug first in order for this to happen. The weekly teasers also reveal that Samantha and Martin will have some father-daughter bonding time. Things with the Smith-Richardsons have been shaky lately, so this quality time will be good for them. However, look for a little tension to erupt. "You can't stop me from growing up," the teen tells her pop. "Samantha, there are dangers everywhere," he advises. Maybe he brings up the time she talked to that bigoted busboy. She had no business helping him out in the park. After Nicole announces that Chelsea isn't at the club, the Duprees must mobilize to find one of their own. A distraught Dani pleads with Bill to bring her home and hugs him for some much-needed comfort. Dani needs her ex-husband to be the family fixer and get their daughter back sooner rather than later. BTG spoiler alert. Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of Monday, August 25th to Friday, August 29th, 2025. Be sure to tune into CBS every weekday to see how everything plays out in Fairmont Crest. The Duprees are frantic when they discover one of their own has gone missing. Meanwhile, Samantha and Martin have some father-daughter bonding time. The hostage situation intensifies. Anita, Vernon, and Kat take matters into their own hands. Andre spies a close moment between Dani and Bill. Martin makes a deal with the devil. Leslie ruffles some feathers. Naomi leans on her husband. Madison issues an apology. Vanessa has news to share with the Duprees. Jacob and Kat follow a promising lead. Derek opens up to Ashley. An unlikely duo exchange wedding vows. The kidnapper has another insane demand for their hostage. Ted surprises Leslie with an intriguing proposal, while Tomas offers to help Eva. Fans are worried, but for now, the soap's future is bright. Beyond the Gates has been a welcome addition to CBS Daytime's soap opera lineup. But the series has had its fair share of concern surrounding it. As the new kid on the block, it's had a lot to prove. Disruptions to its schedule due to sports, or the network deciding to air reruns the week of July 4, have led viewers to wonder about its fate. The worry got worse around the time Paramount and Skydance finalized their merger to become Paramount, a Skydance corporation. This was because of the rollback in DEI initiatives at the company, which drew backlash online. Skydance has made a commitment to ensuring CBS's programming reflects the interests of the American public. However, longtime CBS viewers have questioned whether that commitment includes diverse storytelling and the representation they love seeing on television. Do soap fans have cause for concern? Let's dive into what CBS has done with their soap content in 2025. After less than 3 months on air, CBS renewed BTG for a second season. At the time, they were performing plus 48% better with viewership in the time slot than The Talk, and up plus 67% in multi-party platform viewership compared to the previous year. The network had bet on a new soap and won. There has been no indication that the new Paramount will reverse course on the programming decisions CBS made before the merger closed. So far, their focus has been on streaming and film, though that there's been emphasis on the network being an important part of the company, particularly CBS News and Primetime. Daytime hasn't been a part of the conversation, so the renewal that BTG received, as well as the multi-year renewals given to the bold and the beautiful and the young and the restless, means CBS daytime soaps will be airing at least through 28 if there are no changes at CBS. In fact, the new Paramount hasn't made any bold decisions at CBS yet. They're sure to come, but there's nothing on the wind that suggests they have daytime programming in their sights. So, to the fans that are worried the first soap centered on a black family in 2 decades is on the chopping block, remember the renewal. We're talking about a new daytime drama that's successful in an era where this genre is struggling. The soap has brought new viewers to the channel and streamers, Paramount Plus and Pluto TV. CBS knows what they have with BTG. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you!